Good morning and welcome to day 4 of our virtual summer reading. We're going to continue with our theme of wizards and potions and things like that. And we might get a little messy today. But first, let's read our story. We've got today Room on the Broom. This is written by Julia Donaldson. The witch had a cat and a hat that was black, and long ginger hair in a braid down to her back. How the cat purred and how the witch grinned as they sat on their broomstick and flew through the wind. But how the witch wailed and how the cat spat when the wind blew so wildly it blew off the hat. Down, cried the witch, and they flew down to the ground. They searched for the hat, but no hat could be found. Then out of the bushes, on thundering paws, there bounded a dog with a hat in his jaws. He dropped it politely, then eagerly said, as the witch pulled the hat firmly down on her head, "I am a dog, as keen as can be. Is there room on the broom for a dog like me?" "Yes," cried the witch, and the dog clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the fields and the forest they flew. The dog wagged his tail, and the stormy wind blew. The witch laughed out loud and held onto her hat, but away blew the bow from her braid, just like that. "Down!" cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the bow, but no bow could be found. Then out of a tree, with an ear-splitting shriek, there flapped a green bird with a bow in his beak. She dropped it politely and bent her head low, then said, as the witch tied her braid in a bow, "I am a bird as green as can be. Is there room on the broom for a bird like me?" "Yes," the witch cried, and the bird fluttered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the reeds and the river they flew. The bird shrieked with glee, and the stormy wind blew. They shot through the sky to the back of beyond. The witch clutched her bow, but let go of her wand. "Down!" cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the wand, but no wand could be found. Then all of a sudden, from out of the pond leaped a dripping wet frog with a dripping wet wand. He dropped it politely, then said with a croak, as the witch dried the wand with a fold of her cloak, "I am a frog, as clean as can be. Is there room on the broom for a frog like me?" "Yes," said the witch, so the frog bounded on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the moors and the mountains they flew. The frog jumped for joy, and the broom snapped into two. Down fell the cat and the dog and the frog. Down went tumbling into a bog. The witch's half broomstick flew in a cloud, and the witch could hear roar that was scary and loud. "I am a dragon as mean as can be, and you, witch, look like a good supper to me." "No," cried the witch, flying higher and higher. The dragon flew after her, breathing out fire. "Help!" cried the witch, flying down to the ground. She looked all around, but no help could be found. The dragon drew nearer and started to drool. He said, "I won't let you go. Don't you think I'm a fool? But just as he planned to begin his feast, from out of the dishes rose a horrible beast. It was tall and dark and sticky and feathered and furred. It had 4 frightful heads. It had wings like a bird. It was terrible voice when it started to speak. Was a yowl and a growl and a croak and a shriek. It dripped and it squeaked as it strode from the ditch. And it said to the dragon, "Buzz off, that's my witch." The dragon drew back and he started to shake. "I'm sorry," he spluttered. "I made a mistake. It's nice to have met you, but now I must fly," and spread out his wings and was off through the sky. Then down flew the bird and down jumped the frog. Down climbed the cat and "Whew," said the dog. "And thank you, oh thank you," the grateful witch cried. "Without you, I'd be in the dragon inside." Then she filled up her cauldron and said with a grin, "Find something, everyone, throw something in." So the frog found a lily, the cat found a cone, and the bird found a twig, and the dog found a bone. They threw them all in and the witch stirred them all. And while she was stirring, she muttered a spell. Iggity, ziggity, zaggity, zoom! Then rose out a magnificent broom with seats for the witch and the dog and the frog. With seats for the witch and the cat and the dog, a nest for the bird, and a pool for the frog. "Yes," the witch cried, and they all clambered on. The witch tapped her broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. The end. What an awesome story. She made room for everybody on her broom. And they helped her out in the end so she didn't become dragon snacks. So we're going to make a little potion of our own. So I want you guys to get all of your supplies. If you need to hit the pause, go ahead and do so. But what you are going to need is everything in your bag, plus a couple other little things. So you're going to need 2 bowls. And you should have a spoon in your bag. You're going to have 4 little baggies of different ingredients. And then you're going to have a little cup. And then you are going to need to find around the house a oil of some sort. Most of it's in the kitchen. Mrs. V is going to use vegetable oil. Now you can use whatever kind of cooking oil you have in your house. And you're going to need a little measuring cup. Okay? And on your piece of paper it tells you how much you need. But I'm going to show you as well. But these are my measuring cups. They come in a little monkey, so if I take my monkey apart, they're my measuring cups. Now, some of the measuring cups that we need, we actually need 2, but for the same ingredient, because in measuring cups, they don't make the right size. So we have to use 2 of them. So Mom, Dad, Grandma, and Grandpa, if you are helping out, 3/4 teaspoon. My set does not have a 3/4 teaspoon, so if it doesn't, I'm just using a 1/2 and a 1/4, and of course put those together makes 3/4. So a little bit of a math lesson there for you older ones. So what I want you guys to do, you also, if you are anybody that does essential oils, or if you want food coloring, you can certainly do so. You don't have to, but if you have them and you would like to use them, you're welcome to. So we're going to start off with our potion, okay? So we just need 1 bowl first. And I want you guys, it does not matter what order you put your bags in, okay? But I need you to empty your bags out into the bowl. And if you look at them, 3 of them look like a powder, and 1 almost looks kind of like big salt, and it is because it's Epsom salt, okay? Now, this stuff is not, it's okay to eat, but it might not taste very good because most of this is stuff we put inside our cooking, not something you eat on your own, okay? So there's my one bag. And then here's another one. And you guys can just pour them out. Now, these little baggies you do not need to save for Mrs. V. I just need you to try your best to save your big bags that your whole kit comes in, not your little ones here. So there's my third one. So there's 3. I have one more makes 4. Okay? And what we're doing, so now I want you to take your spoon. Now you need to be very slow at stirring it together, because if you stir too fast, because it's powder, it's gonna poof up. Now it's okay, we might make a little bit of a mess, because I kind of worked on one yesterday ahead of time to show you what it looks like when it's all done, and I made a mess. My whole shirt was kind of powdery. So if you guys just kind of stir slowly in your bowl, and just kind of, we want to mix it all up, because you can see one of those powders I gave you is called cornstarch, and it kind of looks a little darker than the rest, but most of it's all white. But we want to mix them up really good, so we don't want any of them all kind of sticking together. Now, if you have your baking soda, which was your biggest bag there, if it has little chunks in it, and I'll see if I can get it to show you, little chunks like that, just use your spoon and kind of push on it. It'll break them up, because we don't want any of those. And I know some of you had big chunks, and if you just kind of use your spoon to kind of go like this with it, or stir them or push it like that, it'll break those up. And then see how this looks nice and mixed together, and it doesn't, see? But then as I'm mixing it, see, I found another little one together. So we kind of smush it with our spoon. See if I'm not careful, I'm getting towards the edge there, and it's gonna make a mess. So, but if you do get any of this on your clothes, it's just a powder, so it'll just rub right off. If you do get it on your table or something, it'll just wipe right off. It's not anything that can't get cleaned up. So we're gonna kind of make sure I got all my big chunks of baking soda cleaned up and smushed. It makes it look all nice and together, okay? Now, if you are doing more than just your vegetable oil, so if you're just using your vegetable oil, you don't have to put it in a separate bowl. But if you're gonna do like I am, I'm not gonna put any oils because I forgot to bring mine from home to the library. But I do have food coloring, and I want mine to have a little bit of color. So I'm gonna decide to do, let's do red, I don't know, okay? So first what we're going to do is we're going to measure out our 3/4, okay? And this might be the part where you might need mom and dad or grandma and grandpa to kind of help you, okay? And pour really slow. Ooh. See, now I have to do it twice, one with my bigger one, once with my little smaller one, because my certain set doesn't have 3/4 of a tablespoon. So I have to use 2 different sizes to make up my 3/4. And I'm going to set those aside. Now those have oil on them, so we are going to want to make sure that you wash them off, so you can put them in the dishwasher or in the sink or wash them off yourself, okay? So I have that part. So now I'm done with my vegetable oil, so I can put that aside. I won't need that again. Now now it's all liquid in one bowl. If you want some essential oils, you are welcome to do that. If you guys have that at your house, put a couple of drops in here with your oil. If you are doing food coloring, which again, you don't have to, you can put them, this is now the time we're gonna do that. So we're gonna put, probably 3 or 4 good drops in there. Now this is the tricky part, because I will show you. Vegetable oil and food coloring don't mix very well. As you can see, my little drops here, oops, make sure I don't drop the phone, drop your camera right into there. If you see, they're not mixing up together very well, right? They're 2 different things that don't like each other, so they don't want to mix together, okay? But I'm gonna use my spoon here, and I'm gonna try my best to mix them up. Now, it's not gonna mix up a bunch. What it's gonna do is it's gonna take those big drops and make them into a bunch of little ones, okay? So we're just gonna mix this in. Now, if you are just doing the vegetable oil and you don't do any of the other part, what you can do is you don't need to mix any of this up together, and you don't even need to put it in your second bowl. Because what we're gonna do is, here's my dry stuff, here's my wet stuff, and now we're going to pour our wet ingredients into our dry stuff. Now, if you're just using the vegetable oils, you can just put them directly in here, okay? And you're gonna wanna use the edge of your spoon. If you mixed anything in there, you're gonna wanna use the edge of your spoon. You wanna scrape off as much of it as you can in there, okay? And if you just put it directly into the dry stuff and not a second bowl, that's perfectly fine too. Mrs. V has throwaway bowls, so I'm just gonna tuck mine underneath here. But for you guys at home, if you have a regular bowl that needs to get washed out, put it in with your measuring cups. So now we need to mix all this wet stuff with the dry stuff. And again, you wanna make sure you don't stir too crazy, and you're gonna see that it's gonna kind of make little clumps, okay? You're gonna need to use your spoon again and kind of smush those out and keep stirring, okay? So this is gonna take a couple minutes to just kind of stir it up and smush those chunks, so that way those where it wants to group together, we wanna smush that out and keep stirring it up, because eventually we're gonna get it all where it's kind of it's mixed together the best we can get it, okay? And Mrs. V kind of is using the back of her spoon to kind of smush it all and mix it in. And then I go around the sides. And if you look, just like you guys, I make messes too. So I'll have to clean that up here in a minute. But we're working on getting our potion here together. Our little wizard potion. Now, have any of you guys guessed what our actual potion is yet? Have you figured out what we're doing? If you haven't, our potion's not a real potion. It's not gonna make a big cool broom, you know, with seats and ponds and things like that, like in our book. But what we are making are bath bombs. Have you guys ever heard of bath bombs? They're these awesome, cool things that you can get in different shapes. You can get them in, you know, little discs. You can get them in a ball. And when you take a bath, and you can use them in showers too, but in the bath it's a little bit more fun. You put them in there and they dissolve in the water, so it all kind of fizzles out, but it makes it all nice and relaxing. Sometimes some of them that you can make, if you have lots of food coloring in them, some of them will even change the color of your bath water. If you put oils, essential oils in yours at all, it might help you be more relaxed and stuff. So they're really, really cool. But these ones, if we mixed them up right, when we're all done, when we put them in water, they should be a little fizzy. Makes it look like we made a real potion in a cauldron like our witch did, okay? So now if you look, I've been just kind of stirring the whole time. It's pretty mixed up, right? It's all kind of pink looking because I put red in there. And there's not any two real big, big chunks of things. It all looks kind of nice, right? So now we're ready to take our little cup, okay? And what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to put them in here, okay? So if you just kind of go like this and put a scoop in here and use your spoon. Whoops, I just put a whole bunch on the table. And press them in there. Then it should, okay, it's gonna press in there. Now, Mrs. V's videos only let her be on for so long, and then I can only make them so long. And we're gonna need a little bit of a break, because if you're still stirring, you need to keep stirring, because it needs to look really good and mixed up together. None of those big clumps or anything. So I want you guys to take a break for a second from the videos. I want you to keep stirring. And what I want you to do is we're going to come right back, and I'm going to finish putting this all together, and then we'll see what it does, okay? So you guys take a break for a second from part 1 of our video and keep stirring up really good, okay? And when you've got it all stirred up real good, come on back.